Hi, I'm Steve Finn from Finn Franchise Brokers, and we are the largest seller of franchises in Australia. I want to talk to you if you're looking to expand your brand internationally from the country that you operate in and were founded in, and I'd like to suggest that Australia and New Zealand represent really good opportunities to bring your brand down under. Just quickly, I'll take you through some of the statistics when it comes to our countries. So here in Australia, we've got almost 24 million as our population. In New Zealand, it's almost 5 million. Across the board, we've got really strong, robust economies. In Australia, the mining sector is what underpins our economy. So the mining sector is a very rich sector, and our primary export is iron ore. So our iron ore goes across to China and India as our two biggest export markets to create steel, which obviously builds in a lot of the cities that are growing over there. What that means is that here in Australia, there's actually quite a high income level. The average income level in Australia is actually heading towards $80,000 Australian, and that works out at around about 65,000 US dollars. So Australia is quite a wealthy nation, and New Zealand's very similar. So even though we're two separate countries, Australia and New Zealand, we operate very similarly, and it's a little bit like a brother-sister relationship. We're very similar in itself. So I guess with our combined population of almost 30 million people. Now, this franchising sector in Australia is extremely strong, and it's widely said when we're going across to international franchise events that Australia is recognised as having the best and most robust franchising regulations in the world. And there's a lot of other countries that have actually mirrored their regulations on what we have here in Australia, which means we've got a really successful sector and it goes along really, really well. People in Australia love brands. And that's what's really driven a lot of the franchise growth in this country. So to give you an indication, we've got more than 1,200 separate franchise brands already operating in Australia. The total revenue in our franchise sector is about $144 billion per year. We obviously primarily are small to medium enterprises, and the franchising sector makes up the bulk of those in terms of that revenue. The other part that we've got is we're now pushing 80,000 individual franchise units operating just across Australia alone. So as you can see, franchising is really well accepted here. It's a good, strong part of what we do, and there's some really great opportunities within. It's a mature market, but we've also got a growing population. There's a lot of people who are moving from overseas wanting to come to Australia. In fact, our population is growing at the rate of about 500,000 people per year. And most of these people are coming from other countries where they've also got quite a bit of money. That's what allows them to move to Australia, because they have to set themselves up here, qualify for a visa, and often that is related to then buying a business and owning a business. So that fuels a lot of our growth that we have here in Australia in the franchising sector. If you're looking to expand into Australia, the best way to do it that we've found is to generally appoint a master franchisee, or an area development manager, or a couple of, maybe in some key market segments. Australia is so big, 90% of our land mass is uninhabited, and the 10% that is inhabited is quite well spread around the coasts. So what that means is sometimes you might have different masters in each area. It depends on your brand and the size of scale that you can get. It's got to economically work for them as well. Because remember, we only have a population of around that 24 million mark. But that's normally the way that we suggest to start. And we're able to then help you find the right person who is a master franchisee or can be a master franchisee for your brand in this country. What we also do then is guide them, help them be able to recruit the rest of their franchisees, and then we can also operate for you and on behalf of you as a mentor for them to make sure that you're a long way away, that they are actually doing the right thing by your brand, doing the things that are needed to be able to grow the business, and that helps safeguard your investment and your growth into this country to give it a greater chance of success. And we can show you how to do that. Some brands have come here and it hasn't worked. It's easy to see why. We can see it coming when it starts. So we'll let you know the things that you need to do to avoid those mistakes. So if you'd like to talk more to us here at Finn Franchise Brokers about expanding your brand here into Australia and New Zealand, we're happy to help with that. Just please make contact with us and we can arrange a Skype or a Zoom meeting and have a good chat about it and take things from there.